Michael, a lot of people don't think of the Pittsburgh Penguins as a tough team. What can you say about your team's toughness, not just tonight, but in general?
Well, I just think you can define toughness different ways. And, you know, my experience of coaching this group since I've been here suggests to me that this is one of the toughest cores that I've ever been around. You know, they play through whatever they have to win. And I think there's a certain resilience about it. Um, and and they do it every single year when especially at this time of year. It just tends to be playoff hockey. And you know, for me, the important thing is that we're playing the game that gives us the best chance to win, and that we don't get deterred from playing that type of game. And tonight was, I thought, a perfect example of it. And you know, give the Islanders credit; they pushed hard in the third period. You know, there were a lot of emotions, but I thought we did a really good job just responding to some of the adversities throughout the course of the game, but in particular in the third period.
Seth Rohrbach.
Mike, what were your impressions of Evgeny's game? He had 2 primary assists, and just what's life like for you as a coach in terms of matchups or anything like that when you have all 4 of those centers able and ready to go for you?
Well, I thought Gino made some plays. You know, and that's what he does for us. You know, he has the ability to make plays that most guys can't. And you know, he factors in on 2 of the goals tonight. He was a big part of them. He was a big part of both of them. And so that's what Gino brings to this team. You know, our opponents have to pay attention when he's on the ice because he has game-breaking ability. You know, to have the depth that we have at this point with Karts in the middle now, we think we have a pretty balanced attack. On any given night, any line can score, any line can help us offensively, and we have lines that we can utilize in different situations depending on what's called upon throughout the course of the game. So I think Karts' addition has been huge to our team. It just gives us that much more depth down the middle. And but I thought Gino had a great game tonight.
Rob Rossi.
Mike, were you at the time or have you since been given any explanation on how you guys came out of that one sequence down a man?
Yeah, the ref came over and said that Jake slashed somebody, you know, well after the scrum. I think with the scrum, the penalties were even. Jake retaliated later on, and that's what they saw, and so that's why we ended up with the minor out of the circumstance.
Mike DeFabo.
Mike, on one of the late goals for Tristan, they looked like there was a little bit of contact. What went into some of the thinking when you decided not to ultimately challenge that?
Well, it's a tough call because if you're not right, you know, they're on the power play. It could be a 2-goal swing, right? And at that time of the game, I just think goalie interference in today's game it's so vague and it's left to so much interpretation. It's very difficult to I think make a definitive call unless it's blatant. And so I just didn't think it warranted taking the risk, because if we're wrong, now we put them on the power play.
Dan Kingerski.
Hi, Mike. When a team does use the after the whistle scrums and those sorts of tactics to slow or change the game, is that you that has the conversation on the bench? Is that the players? What sort of conversations occur to refocus and get after it?
Well, the conversation tonight, a lot of it took place amongst the players, which was great, you know, to listen to their dialogue on the bench and just trying to stay focused and make sure we play the game that gives us the best chance to win. And so, you know, I think the answer to your question is it's a little bit of both. Certainly the coaching staff is trying to make sure we help them keep the focus where it needs to be. But tonight I thought the players took ownership for it, and they were all talking amongst themselves.
Last question, Mike Pursuta.
Following up on that, Mike, were those organic playoff hockey scrums, or did you think the Islanders were driving the game in that direction? And do you think it impacted the third period?
I think it was just playoff hockey. You know, emotions run high when you're in a 7-game series, and it's just playoff hockey.